Hey, you all, we are live and it is Wednesday and time for Facebook Live. So I am delighted if you can join me today. I am going to be talking about what are the best next steps for your business growth. A lot of people are stuck right now, and I just want to make sure that they don't stay stuck. So if you're with me online right now, I would love it if you would drop a comment to let me know that you're here. And as always, I'm recording this from StreamYard, which is a third-party app that plays nicely with Facebook. Hey, Julie, hi again. StreamYard plays nicely with Facebook, so I use that to do my Facebook Lives. The disadvantage is that I can't see who's commenting unless you either click on the StreamYard link above the announcement or you put your name in the comment. So hopefully you will do that so I know who I'm talking to. So let's just take a quick minute to make sure that people are arriving as they give people a little bit more time to arrive. And if you're here, please announce yourself. Let me know that you're here. Put your name in the comment section and let me know that you're here. And we can get going. So I don't want to keep anybody waiting. So let's just get started. Julie, I don't want to keep you waiting. So if you are watching the replay, let me back up. Let me introduce myself. I'm Elise Taker. I'm a business coach for ambitious female entrepreneurs and creator of the Solo to CEO program. I help women entrepreneurs who are in that first year of their business or so, or a solopreneur, and are acting as if their hair is on fire, working 24/7, doing way too much. They don't know how to get themselves out of that trap. I help them go through a process to get themselves from solo crazed to becoming the true CEO of their business so that they can create a business with business and life balance, and also creating the revenue that you want to create. So I help you get unstuck. So again, if you're joining me either in live or in the replay, please drop your name in the comment section so I can say hello and we can have a dialogue. I'd much rather be talking with you than at you. So I'm going to get started, even though there aren't, Julie, it looks like it's you and me right now. So that's great. So I'm going to get started anyway. And I have notes that I'm referring to. And hopefully I won't get too distracted by the notes because I can talk and yammer for a long time. So we are talking today about what's the next best thing, what's the next best step for your business growth. If you are stuck in paralysis right now, if you can't seem to be moving ahead, if you're having trouble taking the next steps or even deciding what the next steps might even be, that's why I want to talk about this topic. Hallie, good. So glad you're here. Great. That's why I want to talk about this topic, because in the pandemic, in the quarantine, in the moonscape that we're living in right now, a lot of us are on shaky ground. We're either doing too much, it's not producing the results we want. We don't know what's keeping us stuck, but we know that we are stuck. It can be a number of different things, but I wanted to just sort of share with you some of my learnings about how to get unstuck, especially in an environment like this. Hallie, I'm so glad you're here because I know you're having some issues with stuckness right now because your hair is on fire. I know your hair is on fire. So let me get started here. Hey, Facebook user, let me know who you are so I can say hi to you. All right, if you're stuck in paralysis right now, or you can't even decide what the next steps might be, let's talk about how to figure that out. We're all in different stages of our business. Some of you are in pivot, where you have been in business before, or whatever you were doing pre-pandemic suddenly doesn't have validity right now. You have to figure out a new way to earn a living. So you're in pivot mode. It could be that you've been going full steam ahead and you're just finding that the environment of being in COVID-19 land is keeping you stuck and confused. So most of what I see with women who are in this spot are that they can't make any decisions. They can't figure out what the next steps would be, and or they can't take the steps. So step one, and I say this to everybody I work with, stop overcomplicating. Most women entrepreneurs, in the name of growth, think that things have to be more complicated. You need another course. You need another certificate. You need another lead magnet. You need another what? You need more. And I will tell you that as I've been growing my business, less is more, so that I can be far more targeted, niched, and make sure that what I'm delivering is completely on target for my audience. And so as your business grows, you should be looking to streamline, not complicate. And I just bring this up because so many women that I work with, their default position is to overcomplicate. So if you can't make a decision, you are definitely overcomplicating, because you're too wrapped up in the what if this and what if that, and if I do A and not B, what's going to happen here? You're overcomplicating a lot. Life is supposed to be simple. And if it isn't simple, take a look inward and find out why you're overcomplicating stuff, because I guarantee that you are. Let me tell you this. Any decision that you make will be the right one, which just sounds so airy-fairy, I can't stand it. But any decision you make, whether it's A or B, is going to be the right one. And let me tell you why. If you choose A over B, A might not be the perfect solution to getting to your goal. However, it will get you off the dime, and you will start in motion, and then you're going to have to tweak. If you choose B, and that's absolutely the right solution, yay, you've got some success on your hands. But if you're in that place where you cannot decide between A and B, because you know in your heart of hearts there is one right decision, one right direction to take, that's what's keeping you indecisive, unable to make a decision, and overcomplicating things. So again, in the scheme of things, any decision you make will be the right one. One decision might slow you down, because it might take longer for you to reach your goal because it wasn't absolutely on point, but you'll tweak it. But if you make the B decision, which might have been, yay, the solution, you're going to tweak that too. So whatever decision you make, you're going to tweak it, because that's what business growth is all about. So there's no need to get so hung up in the absolutely right next step. You are overcomplicating, you're overthinking. Stop that, because there is never a one right solution. Pick a solution, make a decision, take the next step, the next baby step, because one of the things I talk about all the time is baby steps. Take the next baby step and tweak. That's the first thing. Who said hi? Facebook user, hi Elise, tell me who you are. I just see Facebook users. So put your name in the comments so I see who you are, because otherwise on StreamYard, it only tells me there's a Facebook user there. I don't know who you are. So drop your name in the comments so I know who's joined us. And I know a bunch of you have. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're talking about stuckness and how to get unstuck. Whatever decision you make is going to be the right decision. That's the mindset to have around this, and start making your life difficult. Stop overcomplicating, because there's never an A and a B, right? There's always an A, B, C, D, and E, and F. It's never binary, right? So whatever you do next, you're going to have to tweak anyway. You're going to have to improve anyway. So just make a decision and get going. Step number 2, this is really important, and we don't spend enough time doing this. And I had a client last week on a strategy session with me, and this was just so clear, crystal clear in my mind. So the question is, have you mapped out what you want your business and life to look like on a very global scale? In other words, how big do you want your business to be? And be honest with yourself. There's no right or wrong answer here. This is your life. It's your business. I want you to think about how big or how much do you want your business to impact your life? So another way to look at that might be, how many hours a day or how many hours a week do you want to work? Right? Hallie, I know you're working 60 hours a week. I can see it from where I'm sitting. I have other clients who have said with a perfectly straight face, I only want to be working 30 hours a week because, fill in the blank, whatever their reasons are. That's enough for me. That should be enough for me to generate the income that I want. I've got a lot of other outside activities I want to focus on. My family's more important, blah, blah, blah. Start by outlining how much time do you really want to spend working, okay? And be honest with yourself. and make sure to start with incorporating your family and your outside responsibilities and desires at the top level. So again, if you've got kids to drop off and pick up at school, that's one responsibility. If you've got, dinners, if you're in charge of making dinner every night for the whole family, that's that starts at 4:00, and then you've got to start thinking about having the groceries and planning the menu and yada yada. That has to be factored in. Vacations. When do you want to take vacations? I don't want to draw this out too far, but think about how many hours a week you want to work and be honest with yourself. Not how many should you be working, how many hours do you really want to work, and start working backwards from there. What do you want that work-life? You're in charge. I mean, you are in charge of the work-life balance. You're in charge of creating the work-life balance. Even those of us who are in growth mode, that doesn't necessarily equal more, it definitely doesn't equal more hours equals more growth, I guarantee it. So think first about taking care of yourself. How many hours a week do you want to be working? Factor in your outside life, your family life, your outside life first, and then factor in those hours on top of it. Then take a look at where you are right now. If you want to be working 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week, how are you doing right now? How close to you are to reaching that goal? Okay, be honest with yourself again. If you are close, then you just have some tweaking to do. If you are way off, you've got some major shifts to be making, and I'll talk about that in a second. But again, think about it first, get the big picture in your mind, really assess honestly for yourself, how are you vis-a-vis that big picture, and come to terms with what has to change. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing, and this is where it's going to sound too easy, but I want you to be thinking very strategically about that. What is the next best step for you? This is going to depend on where you are in your business and in your business growth and your business trajectory. Where are you right now? So are you starved for time? Are you working 60 hours a week? Are you working 24/7? And that's usually who I'm talking to when I'm talking about the solopreneur. Are you working too many hours in the week? Are you starved for time? You should be increasing your prices a lot. You should be decreasing the number of clients that you take on. And then you want to take great care of the fewer clients that you have. And since you've increased your prices, you want to hire some outside help or some contract help to help you then be able to grow the business. This is one thing that you need to start making decisions about right now. If you're starved for time, if you're working too hard, take control of that. Don't work harder. Don't look for extra hours that you can plug in some more work. Take a step back. Increase your prices. Make sure that you are taking care of fewer clients. And that'll happen if you increase your prices. Some people will fall away. And then as you increase your business, you'll find that you're getting more income per client that will allow you to get more help. Sounds simple? It is simple. You have to make the decision to make that happen. I've done lots of Facebook Lives and lots of coaching on, are you charging enough? Are you charging what you're worth? Are you getting in your own way as far as your income is concerned? Because you can't put a value on whatever you provide. That's a whole other conversation. But this is where I want you to take a good look at. If you're starved for time, you want to make those changes. All right, next thing. Let me just check over here with comments here. Okay. Hi. I see Ananya. Hello, my dear. It's Farrell. Hello. Izzy, I want to work 20 hours. Okay, cool. Izzy, good to know. Holly, you say, I like this. Think about the end first and reverse engineer it. Yeah. Same, Izzy. You want to work 20 hours a week. See, that's good to know. The client that I worked with this week, and this was so mind-blowing to her, was she has one primary client and she wants to start a side gig, or she wants to write a book, or she wants to do something else. She had two more other objectives that she wanted to accomplish. And what she was finding is that she was absolutely stuck. Let me get rid of that. Hide. All right. She was absolutely stuck. She wasn't making any progress with anything because she just was stuck in that progress paralysis where you can't make a decision. And what she was doing was binging a lot on Netflix and spending a lot of time on social media because she just couldn't grapple with it. And so I helped her reverse engineer. So we said, let's map out what your week looks like. This one main client, which you say you want to keep and you don't want to change anything there, is taking 25 hours a week. Great. And she then said, I really only want to work 30 hours a week. 30 hours a week. Great. So again, it's not for me to say, it's for you to say how many hours a week you want to work. And then she said, and I've got my stepkids in, 2 nights a week and I'm in charge of dinner. And that's a whole, slot of time right there. Great. So that's what we plugged into her week. So she actually had about 5 hours a week to dedicate to these other projects that she was doing. And from that, we prioritized what was up with those other projects. You can't work on everything if you've got 5 hours a week. So we talked about which should get the top priority, how she could parse out those activities to that one next priority, get that done and move on to the next within the 30 hours a week. And I thought she was going to kiss me. It was mapping. And it was also acknowledging what was important to her. And again, you guys who are telling me that you want to work 20 hours a week, man, I just think that's the place where you want to start. How many hours a week? What do you want your life to look like? So you say also you have a seasonal biz, deadlines in September and January. Yes, you do. You're working with MBA people who want to get coaching on how to get into an MBA program. So I have to work a ton of hours in August and December. Feels very reactive. So you can be mapping out your year, right? If you know that you have to spend much more time during, September and January, every week is not going to look the same. During those 2 months, your weeks are going to look very different. And you can start thinking about how much can I do in advance? How many systems can I set in place? What can I do in advance of those hot periods to make them as easy as possible? Also know that you're going to be working harder and longer during those periods because that's the seasonality of your business. But the degree to which you can plan for that, expect it, and then also prepare for it in advance, the better off you're going to be. So it might not be every week it's going to be 20 hours, but you can certainly do a better job mapping what you want to what you need to get done to what you're doing. Does that make sense? That was poorly articulated. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So that's if you're starved for time. Okay. That's one thing. That's where you are in your business. We're going to decide where you are in your business and what your next steps would be. Do you need more clients, right? Instead of being starved for time where you've got too many clients or you've got too much to do you need more clients? If that's where you are in your business, many of us are growing our business. Many of us are in either pivot or startup, and your whole focus is as the fact that you are growing. You should be focusing on your visibility and your prospecting. That should be taking 80% of your time. So what you want to be thinking about is, what does your outreach look like? What are the tactics you're going to use to be prospecting and create visibility for your business? That's where the majority of your time should be spent right now. Don't overthink this is another one, right? You need to be being visible and getting in front of prospects, the right prospects. Do you do that via LinkedIn? Do you do that via Facebook groups? Do you do that via knocking on doors? Do you do that via cold calling? Whatever your tactics are going to be, decide on them. Okay, might be 2 tactics, might be 10 tactics, but you decide what your strategy is going to be. And then you want to make sure that you're doing that every single day and every single week. Consistency is what gets you more clients. I've said this a million times. Consistency is what gets you more clients. So if you're going to use just one tactic, LinkedIn, make sure that you are on LinkedIn 2 or 3 hours a day, doing outreach, participating with LinkedIn groups, commenting on other people's posts, publishing articles on LinkedIn. Whatever you need to do to work it, You want to make sure that you're doing that in an allocated time every single day, because that is your goal, to get more clients. If you have multiple tactics, again, you want to outline a schedule for yourself for the day and the week where you are spending X number of 80% of your time make sure that you get more clients. So if that's what you are in your business, that's what your next steps would be. What would the next steps be in particular? If you don't have one already, what is your outreach strategy going to be? Just start there and take one baby step in outreach. That's where you want to start. Comments? You need better prospecting. Now, many people need better prospecting. Okay, moving on. Do you need more money? Right? You've got the right number of clients. You really don't want to take on more clients. Do you need more money? So the revenue per client that you're getting isn't high enough. So there are a lot of ways you can look at that. Of course, you can increase your pricing, right? I mentioned that before. But look at other ways. And again, you guys who are in pivot or in startup mode, what programs do you have in place? What are you earning money with? And in this time, maybe you need to be doing some pivoting if you aren't already doing that. What programs or packages or passive income or income generating things do you have that you're putting out there in the marketplace? Are you doing the right things? So as an example, if you're doing one-to-one coaching, maybe now is the time that you should be switching to a group coaching program, because you can make a whole lot more money in a group coaching program than you can with one-to-one. Also, it's a far better use of your time because you're doing one-to-many. You're talking to many people at once for that same hour than you are in one-to-one coaching. That might be a shift you want to make. Were you a consultant? Maybe now is the time to switch to coaching. What other examples do I have here? If you are finding that whatever you were doing in the past isn't working, Beryl, you mentioned this in our earlier conversation today, maybe it's the time to start an online course, because the work that you were doing previously, there's no one home now because of COVID and what's happening in the marketplace. So don't overthink this. If you've been in business for a year, you've got resources in the bank, resources of assets in your back pocket, meaning you have content that you've been working with for that whole year. You have blog posts. You have content that you already have. What I'm asking you to do is to not start from scratch, refabricate what you're offering with the content that you already have, if that makes sense. So if you've been doing one-to-one coaching as an example, and you have a curriculum that you follow in your one-to-one coaching, you can easily put that into a course that you could sell. And that's very hands-off, because when you're selling a course, you're not particularly participating with those people who bought the course. That's the beauty of having that passive income of creating a course. If you were doing consulting, you probably have tons of content that you've gleaned from working with clients. Put that into a group coaching program and reconfigure what you're doing. Don't overthink. You already have stuff in your back pocket that you can work with. How can you be creative and repackaging that, reformulating that, so you can get it back out in the marketplace to appeal to a slightly different person, maybe appeal to someone at a slightly different price point, maybe take the people who might have been hiring you to consulting into a group coaching program. You've already got the goods, repackage it a different way. Again, there's no right answer here, but be more open to creativity about how you can put your expertise out in the marketplace. So what are your next steps? Take a look at, if you want to be earning more money, what are some of the slight changes you can make in your format such that you can either be solidifying the revenue that you've got or getting different revenue streams coming in. You got it. I mean, you've already got it if you've been in business for a while. Last thing I want you to think about is what you're doing right now supporting that goal of working 25 or 40 hours a week and earning X amount of money. This is very top line thinking, right? So if it's close, you need to be tweaking a little. right? It's not these, again, don't overthink. This is not either or binary decisions. If you're close to being where you want your work-life balance to be, you might have some tweaking to do. If it's way off, then you will need to do some radically different things. It may feel awful, but guess what? That's where you are. So again, work with what you have in your back pocket already. And I guarantee you, if you're taking a step back and looking at your business, if you've been in business for a year, and I know all of you on this call, most of you have, that's what you want to start from. How can I reposition this? How can I recraft it? Maybe the consulting I was doing at $10,000 a month isn't flying right now. Can I put that into a coaching program that's only going to cost someone $997 a month for 6 months? You know, that's another way you could think through this. Take a look at that and then think about what your very next step could be, given where you are in the scheme of all of those goals I just outlined. So let me get back to your comments here. Okay, I feel torn between prospecting to find clients and long-term plans like creating my online class. Then I freeze and watch true crime on Netflix. It's not awesome. Okay, usually, let me talk about procrastinating for a minute because I can binge with the rest of them. Procrastinating usually means you don't really know what you want to do next, right? I mean, clearly, Farrell, that's what you're saying is you don't really know what you're going to do next. But underneath that is this feeling that there's one right answer, right? I have to be picking the right thing, and I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to be doing anything. So if you need more clients, set yourself some goals. I just need one client this month and one client next month. Make it easy. If that is not what you want to do, map out what it would take you to create a course. And again, you have got everything you need to create that course. Make it easy. Make it as an example. Courses don't need multiple decks. And I mean, it can be so easy. Hey, Yvonne, thanks for joining. Creating a course, as an example, could be doing just what I'm doing here, recording on YouTube, maybe outlining the course in advance. Let me even give you more specifics. A 4-module course might be how to position yourself to be accepted to your MBA program of choice. That might be 6 modules. Each module would have a half an hour of video like this. Don't create a deck. Don't overthink. Create an outline that you can talk from and record it. And that will take you, maybe 6 hours to put that together. Do you want to have a worksheet that goes with that? Do you want to have anything that goes along with it? You don't have to, but you could. Don't make this hard. And then what you need is a way to sell it. You might need a landing page. You might need some help getting the offer out on social media. Don't overthink it. Take the first baby step that you need to. But the first thing that comes above that is, what's the choice that you want to make? What is the decision that you want to make? Do you need more clients or do you want to start a course? Could you be doing both? Again, one of the things that keeps us from making decisions, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself because I want to be talking to you guys. One moment, please. One of the things that keeps us from making decisions is you don't know your why. You don't know why the hell you're doing this, right? Is it just to get the bills paid? Okay, fine. But if it's just to get the bills paid, you need to acknowledge that and embrace the fact that you need to pump out a certain amount of hours in a week to get that done. And if you don't do that, your mortgage is going to come due and you don't have it. You don't have the rent. You're going to have to be able to eat. I mean, it becomes very nuts and bolts at that point. But if you are waffling because you don't know why you're doing this, what is your motivation? What's helping you get up? Why do you want to get up in the morning? You will sit in stuckness from now until forever, because you can't figure out why you're doing that. So think about, is that what's keeping you stuck? Is it not knowing why you're doing this stuff? And then make a decision. Again, there's no wrong decision. Make a decision. Do you need more clients? Quantify that. Do you want to stop with the client acquisition and you want to get a course out in the marketplace? Give yourself a month to make that happen and get it out there. If you need help with that, call me because I can help you with all of those things. So stuckness, which is what I'm really talking about here, is not being able to make a decision because you don't know, because you're overcomplicating. And you're overcomplicating because you think that there is a binary decision to be made. It's A or B. A is the right decision, B is the wrong decision. And I'm here to tell you there's no such thing. I'm also here to tell you is there's no such thing as right or wrong. Because no matter what you decide, you're going to give it a shot and you're going to tweak it. So just make a decision and stop wrestling. The overcomplicating is what is keeping you stuck. Okay? Map out your life the way you want it to look. Most of where I start with all of my one-to-one clients and on my Solo to CEO program, the first thing we do is we go through a process called, map out your dream life. That's the first thing we do, because unless you know what your work-life balance is going to be, unless you know what your dream life is going to be, you can't be taking steps to get there because you don't know what it is. So you have to start by defining it for yourself. Really, even that sounds like that's too airy-fairy for me. You have to start there. And then stop overcomplicating. Really, make some decisions. We just talked about the 3 areas you might be in your business. Starve for time, need more clients, or need more money. We just talked about all 3 of those and ways to parse through what the next step would be in each of those areas. Just get off the dime and make a decision. It's not going to be right or wrong. You take a baby step. My middle name is Baby Steps. It doesn't have to be a big step. Take a baby step, and you will find that your momentum will increase with the fact of having gotten in motion. And take a look right now. If you're stuck right now, what's keeping you stuck? Do you know what you want to do next? Do you know why you're in this business? Is it time for a reboot or a pivot? Get in touch with what you need to be doing right now from an emotional standpoint and a spiritual standpoint before you can get going on getting out of stuckness and in the right direction. Comments. Who has comments to make? This helps. How is this season so I can wait for down season to create? Yes. So you might want to look, as I say, I'm talking about creating a week with consistency. It might be a month. It might be a year, right? Meaning that there's different parts of your week. I'm sorry, back up. There are different parts of the month where you have different levels of responsibility. And you might, on the third week of the month, you may have, that's where you put all your coaching clients. And that's where you're going to have a hell of a lot more work than in weeks 1 or 2. So Farrell, in your world where you've got a real seasonality to it, map it out, and know that you're going to be going all out during those 2 months. But use your downtime to map out how to make that easier for yourself so you're not just, dying during those 2 months. And it will lighten up the load for you and make it easier to figure out what next steps are and what you might want to do. Also, if you have multiple goals, Phil, you're the one who just said you don't know if you want to bring on more clients or start a course. There's no reason why it couldn't be both, but be very careful of how you allocate your time, like I do with that client. She knew she wanted to keep that one major client. She wasn't a discussion. And so how many hours outside of that do you want to be allocating towards this other project that you have working, this other passion project? So Farrell, it might be with you, take 10 hours a week that you devote. I'm just throwing out numbers. How many hours a week do you want to dedicate to prospecting with the goal of bringing in 1 new client a month or 1 new client every 2 months or what have you? And then, outline that. And then outside of that, go into course creation mode and set yourself up some guidelines for what has to get done by when. Don't overcomplicate, don't overthink. That's what we do, and that's why we get stuck. So who has more comments? Yvonne, you say, I'm attempting to go outside of my comfort zone a little more each day. I know you are. I've been watching you online, and you definitely are. Who has more comments or more questions about this whole topic? My overlying theme is don't overcomplicate, because we as women tend to do this for ourselves, and it comes out of this position of not being enough. I'm not enough. Therefore, I need another certificate. I need another course. I need a bigger program. I need additional program. We make our lives so complicated. So, and it's a female thing. It really is. I don't see this happening with men. This is a female thing. So if this sounds like you and you want some help with this, set up an appointment to talk to me. You and I in 20 minutes can figure out what your next step is, right? Given everything I just laid out, if you want someone to bounce ideas off of, call me. Happy to help you with that. Because getting unstuck is a matter of making a decision and figuring out what that first baby step is going to be. So I'm inviting you to call me. And when I file this video, I'll put the links to set up a calendar and a call with me in the description. Second thing, if you guys aren't in my Solo to CEO program, what is stopping you? This is the kind of work that we do in the Solo to CEO program. I have Launchpad. I have a Launchpad coming up September 14th. That's my 5-day free workshop that helps you work through a lot of this stuff to help you grow your business and go from solo to CEO. This is what I do in my work. This is how I work with my clients. And this is 5 days of freebie to help you do this for yourself. So if you haven't signed up for the Launchpad, I'll also put the link in the description in just a minute. Any more comments, you guys? You say we overcomplicate because we try to buffer ourselves from potential failure, I think. There is no failure. There is no failure. And that sounds like Pollyanna, but that is a word that I have completely eliminated from my vocabulary. There is no such thing as failure. You're always learning from what happened. Always. I have flirted with bankruptcy and gotten this close twice. Honest to God. And I can look back on those periods and say, what did I do wrong? I'll never do it again, beat myself up. The point was, so be it. Now I got to learn from that. What did I do? What can I do differently? How can I learn from my mistake? The less time you spend in failure think, which is a complete waste of calories, the more time you can put into learning from what happened, and the quicker you can recoup. So there is no such thing as failure at all. And the sooner you get that out of your brain, the faster you're going to be able to make decisions. Another one. Yes, true. I really love your choice. It's the right one. I'm going to hold on to that. Good. Any other comments, you guys? Because that's all I got for today. So unless you have comments. And if you're watching the replay, y'all, please put comments in so I can respond to you when you are when I circle back, because I circle back throughout the next day or two, so I'm not leaving you hanging. Please put comments in. Sign up for the Launchpad. Call me for a call, a 20-minute, 30-minute call. We can get you unstuck in a matter of minutes, so don't hesitate. That's it for me, kiddies. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that was helpful. The watchword of the day is don't overcomplicate, and I hope that's helpful. Okay, you guys, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the group and online throughout the week. So have a good one. Bye-bye.